सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। Probably first I should say Happy New Year, because this is the first time after the new year that we are starting. Second, tomorrow I'll wish. Shri Krishna. So we have seen about 31 shlokas in Vishnu Sahasranamam. 31 count from the Vishwam, from the first shloka onwards. Roughly about 289 names of the Lord. So today or tomorrow we will be hitting a 3 century. So repeat the 32nd shloka. Bhuta bhavya bhavannathah pavanah pavano nalaha kamaha kamakritkantaha Kama Kama Prada Prabhu. So these names are the ones through which we try to meditate on the form of the Lord. So it is almost like after reading through the Vishnu Sahasranamam, you can have a quiz. Do you know your Lord? What are the different attributes? What are the various facets? What are the various ways of understanding this great aspect of the divine or the Lord? So the various aspects that can be covered, it covers definitely, the first part is grand stories of the Lord, because of which he has acquired a lot of names. So there is a lot of stories in Bhagavad Purana, Vishnu Purana, then you have Padma Purana. There are lots of stories of the Lord. Sometimes these stories have a very hilarious ending, the way the Lord is called. One such example that comes into my mind is Bhagavan Krishna. He is worshipped in Rajasthan, or is it in borders of Gujarat and Rajasthan, and he is called or he is worshipped there as Ranchhod Das. What is his name? Ranchhod Das ji. Ranchhod Rai. Now, Ranchhod Rai, what does the meaning? What is the meaning? He is worshipped as that Krishna who ran away from the battlefield. Rana Chod Raya. The poor God, it's almost like taunting him. 5,000 some years ago, he ran away. There was a different purpose. Why he did what he did. See, Jarasandha was attacking and he had attacked for many times. Because Kamsa and Jarasandha were related. Kamsa was killed by Krishna, so Jarasandha could not tolerate it. So he kept unsettling Mathura. Meanwhile, Bhagavan had applied for a permanent residency visa in Gujarat, in Dwarka. And the Gujarati people very graciously gave him that Dwarka area, and they said, you can be the Dwarkadish. So this was the secret building plan that was happening on the side. Not many people knew it. Jarasandha could not be killed by the Lord. I mean, anybody can be killed by the Lord, that's a different issue. But there was a different story planned for Jarasandha. So Bhagavan did not want to take it on his own hands. So he kept stalling him for 17 times. The 18th time that he came for an attack, the last contingency was leaving from Mathura to Dwarka. So both Balramji and Bhagavan Krishna give a tough fight. And almost like a winning streak. And suddenly, both Bhagavan and Balramji start running away from the battlefield. So right at that place where he ran away, he is worshipped there as Ranchhod Rai. So various leelas of the Lord, various stories which give him different attributes. There was one temple, Markata Kishore Krishna, that he is sitting on a pestle, mortar and a pestle, and he is distributing butter to the monkeys. So that area, the monkeys are notorious. This is in Vrindavan. They are very intelligent also. They must have been trained well by their ancestors. They will not take two chappal of the same person. They will take one chappal each. Until you feed them a couple of bananas and a few bags of chana and the peanuts, they will not release your chappal. And very tactfully they will come, swing by and pick without you noticing your own glasses from your nose. That notorious they are. And they say these are the breed from Bhagavan Krishna's time, the ancestry, which were fed by Bhagavan Krishna. Markata Kishore Krishna. So there are different stories of the Lord. So one aspect of the Sahasranama is the stories of the Lord. And here it is the story of the Lord Vishnu. Vishnu Sahasranama. That Narayana who takes up the task in protecting and sustaining this world. And he has come many times. Whenever there is an issue, he comes into this world as a troubleshooter. He literally comes and shoots the trouble with a bow and arrow. In the technical field, when there is a trouble and they say, I am sending my best troubleshooter. These are not the ones that usually come with bow and arrow. But here, Bhagavan Vishnu comes in. And how many avatars has he taken? umpteen number of avatars, of which the 10 are the main ones. Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narasimha. These are. But there are more than that you can count. So these various avatars of the Lord and His interaction with His devotees, His interaction with various aspects, they have been captured, and the different names indicate that aspect of that Paramatma. There are some names which indicate about His being the administrative head of this universe. I am sure when you are studying, did you have some nicknames for your teachers, your organizers, your principal, and your smiles are quite evident. With running this kind of whatever I am running right now, I get every month a new name. Somebody, they want to shorten Swami, Sarvesha, Ananda, Saraswati, big name. So can we call you Swami S? So I keep yelling at them. I said, no. I'm sure in the back of me there are names. Okay, thank you. Your laughter almost, it gives me the sense that you have personally given couple of names. So Bhagavan as the administrator of this entire universe, as the organizing chief for this entire universe, there is a lot of Srishti Rahasya, much of which we don't know. And you look at our own human body, we don't know why it functions. You ask the scientists, you ask those doctors. I recently met this unusual niche of a doctor, a brain surgeon. They say now they have developed tools wherein the precise instruments go into the brain and remove that portion of the brain which has gotten corrupt. So I said, what happens to the data that is stored in that place? What happens to the connections, nerve endings and other things? They said, that is a miracle for us also. They seem to reconnect again. Every time sometimes I fall sick and the doctors prescribe a handful of medicines, vitamin tablets, B complex, then there is antibiotics, a handful of medicines, morning, evening, afternoon. Every time I pop them in, how does the stomach know which portion of the body requires what kind of medicine, and how does it send that medicine there? Now what to talk of the entire Srishti out there. And we in Hinduism do not believe that it is just one system of galaxy, one system of creation. There are parallel in universe in this cosmos. Akhilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayaka. So in which universe what story happens? There is a lot of stories that are indicated in that Srishti Rahasya. It's like the crux of various aspects that can contribute our mind in aligning itself to that Lord. For some it is great if they hear the stories of the Lord. Of course, if the story is said well, who does not like a good story? The stories of the Lord. Then there is the Srishti Rahasya, as I was talking about. There are some people who are very technically oriented. They will not understand the stories, but they want technicalities. They are very mathematical in their head. 2 plus 3 has to be 5. And here is wherein the names indicate that technical aspect of that Paramatma. So various aspects that are brought in. It's like crux of, the essence of all the scriptures that indicate that Paramatma, the essence is given through these different words. Now, what are the words that we have to see today? Bhuta Bhavya Bhavan Nathaha. Nathaha. Nathaha, the Lord. Boss. Boss of what? Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat. Past, present and future. He is the Lord. Meaning the entire past, present and future is ordained by Him. He controls the past, present and future. What can we control? Only the present moment. Isn't it? And that too, whatever we do in this present moment impacts the future, but we cannot turn the tables around to impact the past. Whereas He seemed to have a control over past, present and future. How? For Him, there is no past, present and future, therefore. Logically, I'll try to explain. What do I mean by saying there is no past, present, future? Past, present and future is point of reference. At the same point of time as you put on the watch on your wrist, at the same X point of time, various episodes that happen around you can be in present for somebody, can be in past for somebody, can be in future for somebody. Confusing? Not that very confusing if taken an example. I have given this example a couple of times. So supposing you are standing on a high-rise building. You are on the 10th floor. You and I are connected with the cell phone. Walkie-talkie is old age. I can see this over. You can just keep talking. So we are both connected with the cell phone, and you are on the 10th floor. From the 10th floor, what you can see, what you can perceive, your area of perception is wide. For you, in that purview, what comes as in your present moment, it's my future. Say in front of me there is a yellow car. Okay, I'm on the floor, I'm on the ground. So the yellow car is in the present moment for both you who are on the 10th floor and me. Because your wide area of perception, you say, I see a red car turning into the street. For me on the ground floor, that red car is in my future. For you, at that same given point of time, it is already in your present. So past, present, future, doesn't it appear like where your mind is? You say, can you see that black car? Say, it was there in front of me, now it is in my past tense. For that person, for you who are on the top floor, for you it is still in your present moment. For me, there is three realms. There is a future car that is coming, there is a present car, there is the past. for somebody from that height? Now if the mind, here it is just a physical elevation that I am seeing. But if the mind has crossed the realm of matter, and technically mind cannot cross the realm of matter. That individuality is dropped and you have transcended, you the conscious spirit has transcended the realm of matter. For you, time, for the one who has transcended this matter, time is not linear anymore. There is no past, there is no present, there is no future. It's not linear anymore. It is just one dimension, one speck of dimension. It's like a globe in front of you. You rotate it, then it is the past. You move it, and it is the present. It's just one dimension. Now for him, whose expression is one of these dimensions, to tell, to identify, when was God created? Many of these kids come and say that, parents come actually, my kid is becoming highly spiritual. This is the claim of the parent. Not to burst their bubble, I allow them say it. Because there can be only 3 or 4 things that the kid must have been saying, and it must have blown your mind. It's your child. Swamiji, my kid asked me, if everything is created by God, who created God? When was He created? For that child's mind, yes, it seems to be an amazing dimension to look into. That if I can find when exactly God was created. God created time, Baba. That is why the Gurudev used to say that the smallest unit of time is second. Because the first is always Paramatma. It's only after him that the time was created by him. And that which is created after him, in that time trying to access the glory of the Lord. As to when was he born? It's a ridiculous effort. Because he is the Natha. Natha, the one who is the boss of this time. This is one way to look at. Now at the conscious level, we carry lot of baggage. This baggage we have been carrying for so long that it has almost become like garbage. What does this baggage consist of? The entire past, the weight of it, the burden of it, the pain of it especially. And we keep harping on a couple of these questions. Until we drop these questions, we don't find mukti for ourselves. Why did this kind of experience happen to me then? I was traumatized. So Vedanta asks, why are you traumatizing this moment about that past thing to be brought in again? Why do you want to carry it again and again? I don't have a closure. Another big word that people use. What closure are you talking of? It's done. It is like a banana peel. Its purpose is served. Throw it in the trash can. It is done. That is its closure. Swamiji, how can you talk like that? It is my life, it is my past, without which I am not. Why do you want to carry that trauma again here? So who is the actual Lord of the past, present and future? The one who can drop the past at will. Envision the future, but not carry the anxiety of that future. And then in the present moment, neither be muddled nor allow anybody to be muddled by yourself. Past, present and future is one over. Otherwise, the example that comes into my mind is the single mother or the mother traveling with two children, one tiny tot and one just barely able to learn to walk. About one is 1 year old, the other one is 3-year-old, and then traveling with two kids all the way to India. Have you ever seen them? You must have been one of them. I'm taking only that slice of your life when you had only two. So you have two kids, and then you can technically carry 3 carry-ons, check-in, 6 check-in luggages with 3 carry-ons and 2 kids, from one gate to the other, from one terminal to the other. By the time you reach to the gate, you are a nervous wreck. Now, the children, they are not like the inorganic luggage. They have organic demands. Sometimes they are genuine. I need to pee right now. What do you do? You're rushing towards a gate and you have to catch a flight, and this. No, I can't hold it anymore. So you stop, stand in the line, and if it is that urgent, request those 5-6 people in the line ahead of you and say, please, it is really urgent. And there are some not that so genuine. When you see something, a new toy, I need it now. The chup. This is not the time to. And you try all the methods: sama, dana, danda, upaya. You fly with me, diligently, without making lot of fuss. As soon as I get down in India, you'll get one. No, but I want it for the flight now. How can you do? So there are 3 pieces of luggage, and especially if the child is the diaper one. There is a formula, there is diaper, there is the cleaning equipment, the cleaning tissues. The whole bag is filled with only that one little fellow's need. The only thing that comes into my mind is this was in Frankfurt, both Frankfurt and London. Except the submarine, you take every other transport required to reach from one terminal to the other. So I was observing this lady with 2 kids, 3 pieces of luggage, and she was doing a circus there. I said, what is your gate number? What gate are you going to? Luckily it was 2 gates next to mine. I said, okay, you carry your 2, I carry your luggage. Are you sure? So I stacked everything up and tied them into that main luggage so they don't. So even if you don't see me behind you, don't panic. I'll meet you at that gate. Right, luckily we both were together and I reached it. And she was almost in tears. Thank you. So that was my time for upanyasa, so that the message. Never say that Bhagavan is not there. He sends his messengers to help. So if you can understand the plight of that mother with 2 kids and 3 pieces of luggage running between the terminus, we are no better with the luggage of past, present, future, and we are clinging on. So there are a lot of cling-ons. You carry them with you, right? So there we have cling-ons and the luggage, and then a time, and we are running. And at that time somebody comes and says, say cheese. Kya cheese hai? Hut! You are in no mood for any kind of pleasantness in life. Always in tension. So who is the Bhuta Bhavya Bhavan Natha? The one who can drop the entire past, plan and envision for the future, drop the anxiety, and work in this present moment where the hands are. Put the head where the hands are. Such one is called Bhuta Bhavya Bhavan Natha. Pavanaha. Pavanaha, that one which purifies everything. Therefore, the air is called the purifier. Pavana. Pavana, air is the purifier. So you may have seen that, say you have not been at home for a while, you come back home, there is that staleness in the house. So what do you do to remove that staleness? The experienced ones open the doors and windows. The inexperienced ones light the effervescence lamps, turn on the, what is that, wick or glade or the candles are already lit. There are already those dispensers. How much ever you dispense, it is only at an expense. The simplest method is open doors and windows. If you want to have it little humorous, like my physics professor used to say, open the doors of the windows. Like in Hindi you say, khidki ke phatak kholo. So he used to translate it literally and say, open the doors of the windows. As soon as you allow that air to come in, even the clothes, have you ever tried the difference and made the observation? Drying the clothes in that, what do you call that, dryer. I always get confused, I don't know these days, between the dishwasher and the washing machine. I keep changing the names. That's a dryer. So you run it in the dryer and dry it in the sun. Do you see the difference there? There's amazing crispness and freshness in that which is dried in the sun, out there in the open. Otherwise, whatever fabric softener that you put in, that is the smell that you get. Fresh breeze. If it is really fresh, it does not have any smell. But this fresh breeze has smell. See, different kinds of clothes require different kinds of purification. Say you have woolen material. Every 15 days once you dry it in the sun, out in the open, it is good to wear again. Woolen, without any corruption of any other mix. Any other kind of material, it has to be washed, even if you have just worn it for one single wear. Silk, also you just take it into the air, open air, and then dust it off, and you can good to go wear it again. Because the air has that kind of a purifying effect. Pavanaha. Pavanaha also means that one who enlivens us with the life breath. Therefore, he is also called Pavanaha. Pavanaha, the one who gives us the life breath. And what is more to be learnt here is not that he is just the life breath, but having constantly to provide that life breath for this entire creation, and to expect not even a word, not even a thank. What a thankless job. Even if you remotely sense that your own loved ones, near ones that you really care for have taken you for granted, you feel so let down. How can they do this? Now look at Mr. Pavan. What does he do? Pavana, the most sacred act, gives the life breath to every form of creature. When do we appreciate the presence of this Pavana? When you are searching for the pump or the, what do you call that? Inhaler. And you are gasping for air. You are suffocating. And then it is such an effort. Or you are crossing Dolmala Pass in Kailash, where the air is so thin that to walk from here to that door, it will take at least 10-15 minutes. Why? Every step feels like you have walked a mile, because there is no air there. Even with the good lungs, you do, all that you get is only this much. After 14,000 feet, there are no trees, so the oxygen is very little, and this is at 19,600 feet. And it's at a good 70-80 degree inclination, and you have to cross that. तब नानी याद आ जाएगी. Then you remember the incredible job that Pavana is doing. Why is he so sacred? That one, he brings in the life breath. Second, does not expect anything in return. When we wake up in the morning, do you even thank? Think of thanking at least. Oh Lord, thanks for the breath that I am breathing. Instead, what do we do? First thing that we, as soon as we wake up, check the stock has gone up or down. You have the mobile apps these days, right? If you are woken up on time, you are not woken up on time. Oh my God! And there's a rush. You don't have time for even appreciating such blessing. And then we claim, when we are really pulped into a corner, then we say, what has God done to me? The very breath that you are breathing, is that not a proof enough? Oh, that is all happening. Anything else? Okay, can I take that away? We take it for granted, and it does not even turn around to say, hey, thank me now. Pavanaha, Pavanaha. Analaha. He also comes in the form of maintaining a stability inside, both inside and outside. Do you know, if the earth were even few kilometers closer to the sun in the orbit, or few kilometers away in the orbit, none of this, what we see, would have been existing. We would not have been existing. The right amount of temperature. And when I look at the kids growing up here, it is really peak of winter. Okay. And they come out with shorts and t-shirt. I'm cool. I'm cool. Bewkoof. Do you know that Lord who is sitting inside to generate that amount of heat to maintain that balance within? How much more extra? Yeah, if he moves away, you will not be cool, you will be cold. Analaha. That's another amazement. What is it that makes sure that the body is exactly at that temperature? I'm sure you all have worked in the kitchen. You all have prepared meals so that it is warm and hot for the loved one when they come home. Have you tried all kinds of gadgets? Yes or no? Finally, what is the ultimate thing that you resort to? When they come, reheat it and give. Nothing else works. Anything that you want to capsulate and put it in that temperature, it does not retain that temperature. And we recklessly use this in a cold environment, suddenly into the heat environment, then come back into the cold, then into the heat. Constantly did it. And still it maintains the body temperature in the right way. So where is Paramatma? Right here in this temperature. The warmth in which the body is maintained. And there is every source of leak. The body temperature to be leaked. But still it has to generate that heat to maintain it. It's like somebody sitting there, in Hindi it is called bhatti, wherein you throw the coal in and there's a constant burning, and then it is constantly supplied all across the fingertips and especially the nose and the ears, and nowadays I have to say, you feel it gets really cold very fast. Constantly it has to be supplied all that. Now what a system that Bhagavan has created. That the cell at that point burns to generate that heat. Creates that energy, creates that amazing system that has been created. Analaha, he expresses as the fire. Pavana pavano nalaha, analaha. Kamaha. Now the next thought train is taken. Kamaha. Kama, desire. Ha means to kill. Kamaha, the one who kills all desires. So who is Bhagavan? You come with all kinds of desires, and what does he do? Destroys all those desires. Kama. Why does he have to destroy these desires? Because the seeker who comes to the Lord seeking for peace and contentment within, when that desire, that intensity of that desire is really strong, he provides the true means to uproot that which disturbs that peace and contentment. And what is it that creates that agitation of discontentment and lack of peace? Is our desire. And then we get attached to it. Kamaha, the one who annihilates all that desire. And then he is also called Kamakrit. Kamakrit, what does he mean by Kamakrit? The one who is the origin for, or the one who fulfills the desires. Therefore, there is various forms. In what comes into my mind is in Himachal Pradesh, there is one beautiful temple called Chintapurni. The mother in that form is worshipped as Chintapurni. What does Chintapurni mean? That any kind of desire she fulfills. So people go. I was talking about Hanuman Chalisa to a younger group, 4th, 5th, 6th graders. So Hanumanji will fulfill your desires. This is the statement I made. Immediately, this kid raises his hand and says, "This math teacher has given us too much of homework. Will he take care of her?" Not take care of the homework. Will he take care of her? You said that he fulfills all kinds of desires. No, that desire which aims for creating pain, sorrow, misery for others, do you think that God will fulfill that desire? It's a very confusing thought, because growing up I have seen the old movies where there was a dacoit, Chambal ki Ghati. There was a dacoit, and the dacoit stops at a Kali Mandir, a Devi Mandir, and then puts a tika and says, "Ma, may I go and get lot of bounty?" And there is a policeman who is hunting, comes in a jeep, stops the same temple and puts on tika. "Let me catch this fellow who has been troubling the world." The poor God. It's not easy being God. The poor Devi has to think, should I bless this fellow or that fellow? Kamakrit, that desire which benefits and helps the entire cosmos, entire being, entire society, entire community, brings it together in a cohesive manner for a higher growth. Such desires will be fulfilled. After these many years of being, I'll tell you my personal feel on this. There is no necessity for having any desire. Why? He is quite benevolent. Whenever whatever is required, even before you realize that you need it, He is already provided for it. To desire for anything more is like questioning His integrity. Bhagavan, you are not doing your job good. You have not taken care of this particular thing, therefore I am desiring this. You don't need to. If at that moment that thing is required, you will be amazed from what corner it will reach you. Recently, this was in October or November. Do you know the bear? Bear is, what do you call them in English? Bear? Beer. Berries, yes, they are berries, but so this bear, I was kind of craving for it. A sudden thought came. I was like, where will I run to fulfill that desire now? So I just brushed it aside. And not the big ones. The big ones are little sweeter. I was craving for the little ones which are little sour, sweet kind of. हाँ वही. हाँ याद मत दिलाओ. That thought came to me this one X day. There's this Amma who knocks the door. And she had just been to India, came back. One of the things that she had was dried bear. And it was already purchased 2 weeks ago. I had only tears in my eyes, moisture. Like, for this desire that I would have today, in order this to be fulfilled, he had to make a preparation for it. He meaning God had to make a preparation for it 15 days ago to get that sankalpa in that Amma's mind that this particular thing had to be picked and to be delivered it at that right time. If we really deserve, it will come knocking. And this is my realization, my understanding, my swanubhava. that I don't need to stand there asking anything of him. Even to stand there and say, Lord, take care of me. It's like a child telling the parent, Mom, better take care of me. What else do you think I'm doing? I'm doing that only. Why? Okay, you do what I know what I have to do. Every now and then your child comes and says, Mom, are you taking care of me? You better take care of me. How would you feel? Just put yourself in that position. Wouldn't it be a little frustrating? Frustrating on various ends. You're trying to tell me what I have to do. Don't I know what is good for you? What do you think I've been doing so far? Have I not been taking care? Do I need a reminder from you to tell me that I have to take care of you? Then don't those thoughts go in your head? Just standing in front of the Lord. We don't even need to ask, Lord, take care of me. And just to give a glimpse of what I do when I stand there. So when I stand in front of him, I talk. How are you? You've been standing here for a while. Hope everything is fine and cool. Just to connect to that Lord is more than sufficient. You don't need to ask of him anything. Sometimes when nobody is seeing, I even look at that Lord and we have a communication. What's up? Even to connect at that level wherein the Lord is there and He is taking care of me. And Guruji nails it down beautifully with this sentence. He says, don't tell the Lord how big your problem is. Tell your problem how big your Lord is. Whenever we turn to that Lord, asking, oh Lord, why do I have this problem? Please take them away. Instead, turn to the problem and stop pestering me. Do you know who my Lord is? Just to have that, even that confidence at a thought level, that Lord is taking care of me, is such a confidence within. And once you see that happening, there is no turning back again. How will this happen? It will happen. Last year, Guruji, we all met Guruji, and suddenly this thought was decided that there should be this training course for the children, for the youth. And then I asked a couple of them, and they said it will cost 25,000 or 30,000, 40,000 max. Like, I sat down and I looked at everything and I said, I don't think it is going to be anything less than 100. The moment it sunk in my head that it is going to be 100, I said, oh my God. Now this responsibility has come along with a price tag. And you will be surprised to see from what quarters the help came in. I did my job. Wherever that awareness was to be created, I did my job in creating the awareness. And the fun part was to step aside and see that everything falls in line, aligned way, that things, people, everything starts aligning itself. We just have to see the beauty of His way of working. Kamakrit. If it is required for my growth, for my understanding, He will provide the right experience for me to grow. anything that stops me from growing, what does he do? That desire, kamaha. He'll edit that out. Kamaha, kamakrit. Kantaha. Kantaha. See, we talk about the Lord being truth. We talk of the Lord being consciousness. We talk of the Lord being existence. But we seldom mention that the same Lord is not just consciousness, is not just existence, but He is also Sundaraha. Therefore, one of the names of the Lord is Sundareshwara. Sundareshwara, the most beautiful, most elegant one. Kantaha, the most enchanting one. So enchanting that once a Mahatma told me. At that time my name was still Uddhav. So he says, Bhaiya Uddhav. A typical Vrindavani accent, Braj Bhasha. Bhaiya Uddhav. Before even you get the darshan of Bhagavan, even if you can hear His divine sound or smell His divine fragrance, that much is sufficient to put this mind to rest once and for all, for good. If His sound, His fragrance itself is that enchanting, imagine how enchanting would be His presence. What bothers me is, if Bhagavan's presence is that enchanting, Duryodhana, Dushyasana, Shakuni, and such people felt averse from it, what kind of dushtata must be theirs? Can you imagine? That even the smell or fragrance or the sound of the Lord is enchanting, He is standing right in front of you. That's why the devotees, various devotees experiences that when they have the darshan of that Lord, Gadgadaha, their voice chokes. It is so enchanting, overwhelming, that you can't speak. When I read this in Narada Bhakti Sutra, it didn't sink in because I never had that experience. But I think it was once Guruji explaining, it was something in Ramayana, Tulsi Ramayana, and Guruji was explaining something, and I am not a touchy-feely, emotional kind of a person that I had to carry Kleenex. That day in that lecture, something very profound happened. The tears were flowing automatic. First I thought it may be lack of sleep sometimes, lack of sleep and you're staring at something, the tears start flowing. Why is the tears flowing? It was uncontrollable, it was just flowing. And then I met Guruji every day whenever I do the massaging of his feet. So while doing it, I casually mentioned that today while in the lecture, even after the lecture, there's this constant tears flowing. Why? So Guruji in his own mischief said, "Ki mirchi lagi hogi." You must have put your hand in some kind of spicy thing and that must have put in the eyes. So I looked at him and what today's kids would have said, really? Then he said that it is not just the anxiety or pain or misery that brings tears, but even if it is profound truth, profound beauty that touches you, the tears automatically come. And those tears are called Ananda Bhashpa. That tears are because you have touched that core within. Imagine that beautiful Lord, Kantaha, the enchanting form. Just about listening about that enchanting form can give you that amazing joy. What if the Lord were to stand in front of you? And that would be the most breathless moment. It is said in Dhruva's life, when he was chanting, meditating, Bhagavan appeared in front of him. But that form was so enchanting that he could not even open his eyes. What? Bhagavan was standing in front of him, he did not open his eyes, and he was having darshan. He does not require the mediation of these eyes to be seen. He stood there, and then with the help of the Lord, with his touch, finally could be able to open his eyes to bask in that glory of that Lord. Kantaha. The next word says Kamaha. Kamaha, the one who is the most loved one. Here Kamaha does not mean desire, though you can take that as one of the meanings. But here Kamaha means the one who is most desired, the one who is most loved, beloved. Most of what we call as love in this world is a sense of glorified attachment. But when we truly start loving that Lord, there is such a transformation that happens within. The bitterness is washed away. You cannot turn to become bitter to anybody, anything, any experience in life. So it is a test to every seeker, every devotee. Is there any bitterness that arises in your heart because of any experience? It is not because of somebody or external. It is because my love in that Lord has been shaken. Once that love for that Lord has been established, what is that Lord? He is often worshipped as Madhuradhipati. Madhuradhipate Akhilam Madhuram. The first time I heard this particular set of shloka, we were in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. And we were learning Sanskrit just then in the school system. So Akhilam Madhuram, I could separate. And the neighboring house auntie, Mami, her name was Akhila Mami. How does this stotra know that it is her? And she's not that sweet anyway. No, Akhila is not somebody's name. Akhila is everything. Akhila means everything, Sakala, everything. Everything of the Lord, everything about the Lord, everything as the Lord. He is nothing but sweetness. Endowed into that path, connecting to that sweetness of the Lord, how can there be bitterness in the heart? Can there be bitterness? And if there is still bitterness in our heart, then probably there is not much of difference between Duryodhana and us. For whom the Lord was right in front of him, but he was still the epitome of bitterness. Even if we have an ounce of that love for the Lord, how should it start reflecting within? Absence of any bitterness. If there is any effort, it is only for the betterment, rather than to retain the bitterness. Because the Lord is Madhuradipate, Akhilam Madhuram. Kamaha, the most beloved. Kama Pradaha. This I have already said, that he gives what we deserve. Kama Pradaha. How can he do all this? Kamaha, Kamakrit, Kamaha, Kama Pradaha. Only one reason. Because he is truly the Prabhu. Natha or Prabhu. Prabhu, the very boss of this entire creation. The Lord of this entire creation. Now when somebody is called the Lord of this creation, what does it indicate? As long as you are on the road in your car, you are driving it, you are the Lord of your car. What does it mean? When you want it to turn left, it turns left. When you want it to turn right, it turns right. When you want it to stop, it stops. Instead of having that, you keep shouting, "Stop, stop, stop, stop!" There's a brake, apply. That shows control. That is the prabhutvata of being the car driver. So what is his prabhuta of being the entire Prabhu of this universe? Every aspect of this creation is nurtured and taken care of by that Lord. That is his glory. So today we saw Bhuta Bhavya Bhavannatha Pavanah Pavano Nalaha Kamaha Kamakritkanta Kama Kama Prada Prabhu. Tomorrow we will continue the 33rd shloka. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.